that your car is foolproof a रनिंग मॉडल, ओके। आप तब तक अपनी कार को मार्केट में नहीं लॉन्च कर पाओगे जब तक आप अपनी कार को इस तरह से आप अपने जो आप उसमें एआई यूज़ कर रहे हो दैट इज़ नॉट सेल्फ इवॉल्विंग, ओके। क्योंकि देयर इज़ अ लिमिटेशन टू व्हाट काइंड ऑफ डेटा यू विल बी फीडिंग, ठीक है। आप बहुत सारे सिनेरियोज, आप लेट्स से 1000 lakhs में सिनेरियोज आप अपनी सेल्फ ड्राइविंग कार्स को फीड कर सकते हो फॉर द लर्निंग, ओके। बट अनलेस एंड until your car is capable enough to learn itself that in particular situation how it needs to respond, कितना स्पीड रखना है, कितना स्पीड स्लो करना है, कब ब्रेक मारना है, कब राइट लेना है, कब लेफ्ट लेना है। सो इन दैट सेंस that will not that car will not be a safe car to drive in, okay। So yes, the program or the model which we are creating is self-learning. So there you can say that yes, it's an artificial intelligence. Now under the artificial intelligence umbrella we have machine learning and deep learning. Now machine learning is basically a set of algorithms, okay, and these algorithms are basically uh, they are exposed to certain kind of data. They are exposed to the data which is relevant, or you can say जैसे जब आप अपने सेल्फ ड्राइविंग कार बना रहे हो उसका फर्स्ट पॉइंट क्या था, उस जो आप मॉडल क्रिएट कर रहे हो या आप एआई जो क्रिएट कर रहे हो उसका फर्स्ट स्टेप यही था कि आपने कुछ सेट ऑफ बंच ऑफ एल्गोरिदम्स को इम्प्लीमेंट किया, आपने उसमें डेटा फीड किया। अब आपने डेटा क्या फीड किया, आपने कुछ इमेजेस फीड किए होंगे, ठीक है। आपने उसमें वीडियोस या ऐसे इंस्टेंसेस को ऐड किया होगा उस डेटा में जहाँ पे कि पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में किस तरह से उस कार को बिहेव करना है। लेट्स से इफ देयर इज अ चाइल्ड और इफ देयर इज अ zebra crossing then the car should be stopped, okay। Let's say if there is a speed breaker then the car should lower down its speed, okay। So all these scenarios, all these data you fed to the model, okay, you fed to that algorithm, okay। Now once these algorithms are fed with the data, they learned it, you tested them on some raw data, okay, and you try to figure out that that how basically the car is basically behaving in that sense, okay। With once this stage is completed, now you basically try that you test the model, or you evolve the algorithm in such a manner that it should learn as well, कि जैसे जैसे उसे न्यू डेटा न्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस उसे कैप्चर कर रहा है वो वैसे वैसे उसको इवॉल्व करता रहे, because your self-driving cars also have sensors, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, they have sensors. So they might the data from those sensors should be processed. Okay, only then your car will be able to make the decisions. Okay, now तो इसी तरह से आप अपने कार को एक इवॉल्विंग एल्गोरिदम के साथ आप उसको टेस्ट करते हो, देन यू बेसिकली आफ्टर अश्योरिंग ईच एंड एवरीथिंग। अगर आपने देखा होगा तो आई थिंक टेस्ला हैज़ ऑल्सो यू नो I think there are some certain videos of testing of the Tesla. Okay, where I just remember one instance where the self-driving car was approaching, and there was a bus standing in the right lane. Okay, and behind the bus there was a person walking. Okay, so car, it was a testing case that whether the car will be able to calculate that when it will be crossing the right lane, basically उसको जाना सीधे है but there is a crossing there, okay। तो it has to make a decision that whether it should slower its pace or it should increase its pace, so that the car should not hit the person walking, or it should you know avoid like bypass that person, okay। uh, there should not be a conflict कि वो walk करके भी आ गया और कार भी आपके at the time उसी right lane को cross कर रही है. Okay, I think that was the one video I saw. Okay, so that's where I saw that okay, this kind of testing is also being done. Okay, because you never know on road what is happening. Okay, you cannot predict what use case can what scenarios can be. Okay, so that's how your machine learning is basically build. You can say that machine learning is a building block which is basically supporting artificial intelligence as the whole. Okay, then comes your another subset which is there, which is deep learning. Okay, subset of machine learning in which multi-layered neural networks learn from vast amount of data. Okay, so now in deep learning we are talking about the neural networks, multi-layered neural networks. So if you can simply understand deep learning as similar to how your basically brain neurons work. Okay, they are getting feeds from various parts of your body, and accordingly they are providing information to the brain and brain is acting over it. Okay, okay, सिमिल ऐसे ही होता है ना कि लेट्स से आपने कुछ let's say it's hot climate. Okay, so you feel your complete body, like you're sweating, you are feeling the temperature, your body is get feeling the heat around the temperature. Okay, so your all the sense organs are basically sensing the heat. Okay, and through them you're getting the information and your brain is acting accordingly. So in that case, either you search for a shade or you prefer drinking water if you're sweating a lot. Okay, so that's how your brain is acting over it. Okay, so similarly deep learning also works on that only, that you feed the data, those data is fed through is passed through multi-layered neural networks, and then you learn from that you learn from that network of the layers, and then you basically give to bring to a conclusion that okay, on this particular data this can be the possible action or this can be the possible interpretation. Okay, you can also take an example of, let's say, इमेज प्रोसेसिंग में क्या होता है, आपके इमेजेस हमेशा पिक्सल फॉर्मेट में होते हैं. तो लेट्स से अगर कोई ब्लैक एंड वाइट इमेज है, लेट्स से नंबर्स लिखे हुए हैं, ठीक है, तो अगर आपको इमेज प्रोसेसिंग में करना है तो क्या होता है, हम वो इमेज को हम प्रोसेस करते हैं through deep learning and through multi-layered neural networks, and then we find that okay, we read pixel by pixel. Okay, we try to there are multiple things which are involved in it. We clean the picture, we basically try to enhance the picture so that we can get the clear information what that image is holding. Okay, whether it's a number or whether it's a car and everything. Okay, based on all these things you get the information. Okay, so now if we say in the example of your self-driving cars, can you understand, like, did you get the point that where this deep learning can be used? कुछ आइडिया लगा कि डीप लर्निंग आपके सेल्फ ड्राइविंग कार्स में कहाँ इम्प्लीमेंट हो सकता है? बेसिकली अंडरस्टैंडिंग द सिनेरियो ऑन द रोड. ओके, बिकॉज देखो आपके जो सेल्फ ड्राइविंग कार्स होते हैं दे ऑल्सो हैव कैमराज. ओके, सो दे the model is built such that they are getting the feed from the video cameras, from the sensors. They are continuously processing it by identifying objects कि आपके आगे जो कार चल रही है वो कितना डिस्टेंस पे है. Okay, if there is a two-wheeler riding in front of you, or whether there is a person in front of your car, how much distance is there, whether there will be a conflict or not, if the pace of the car is slow or high, likewise. So there your deep learning is working. Okay, by processing the data from your sensors and your cameras, which are basically analyzing the environment when the car is running. Okay, so that's that's a complete package how this AI, machine learning, and deep learning basically are associated with each other, and they are basically leading to build solutions or provide uh, uh, models which are capable of doing work which can be done by which basically being done by this human. Okay, they are trying to learn how humans used to learn things. Okay, and they are they're trying to reach to the capabilities of the humans. Okay, the aim is that only, but yet the path to achieve that kind of uh, accuracy and that kind of efficiency which humans have, it's a long road to that. Okay, but still we are basically the research work is carried out continuously, and yes, we are heading towards that only, and the aim is only that. Okay, so I hope this scenario is like clear how what's the difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning, and how they're associated with each other. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, so basically, what is machine learning? So I told you it's a subset of AI, provides computers with the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Okay, to a certain stage, you program uh, your machine, but uh, not everything can be programmed. Okay, so you take the help of the data which you basically feed and make the machine learn, okay, and evolve itself. Machine self learn with scenarios provided from the past experience. Past experience is your data which you are feeding to it. The first time this term came into existence is in 1950, so it's not a new thing. It was being like it has been there from since 1950s. Okay, and was defined by Arthur Samuels at IBM, and he defined it as field to study where we give machines the ability to deal with problems without intervention of human beings. Okay, so this was definition given by Arthur Samuel. Okay, now what are the different types of machine learning? Like how we basically, the the second question which comes with respect to machine learning, that what kind of learning? Okay, how we basically decide that what kind of data will be helping out in learning, what kind of or you can say that for which kind of data we need to use certain kind of algorithm, and for which data we don't use this kind of algorithms. Okay, so there should be a clear picture. Okay, because it's not, it is always be a clumsy task that let's say I have 100 algorithms under the belt of under machine learning, and I'm applying all those algorithms to a certain data. That's not a good approach. So we need to have a clear understanding that what algorithm will work on which kind of data. Okay, and what is basically feasible for which kind of data. Okay, so for that basically we have three types of learning: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. So anyone has any idea about what is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning? Anyone, any idea?
Ma'am, I feel like in supervised learning, the machines require humans' aid
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning phase, and
Mm-hmm.
for unsupervised learning, it doesn't require any human aid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, basically, supervised. Yeah, anyone else who's trying to answer?
Ma'am, is reinforcement learning learning from the mistakes and all?
Mm-hmm. Okay, yes. somehow you both are correct. Okay, see, in supervised, so let's take one by one these three. So in supervised learning, basically we use labeled data. Okay, so labeled, what this labeled data means actually. So I'll just show you what kind of labeled data, um, what is labeled data and what's not. Okay. Mm, okay. Next. Okay. So, uh, so basically, the supervised learning is when we use known or labeled data for the training. Now, labeled data basically means, now this is data of, this is a diabetes data set, and this is data basically, you can say the data of some female patients. Okay, and the details are like what are the number of pregnancies, glucose level, blood pressure, skin thickness. Okay, so this is the data all about. Okay, insulin, BMI. There is a diabetic pedigree function. What are their age, and the last column is the outcome. Okay, so basically, label data are generally your past data. Okay, the data which is already being, somewhere or other being used. Okay, or being processed. Okay, processed in the sense, let's say कि ये जो data set है, ये कोई पुराना डेटा सेट होगा, एंड ये कोई लेट्स से कि किसी हॉस्पिटल में किसी ने ये डेटा कलेक्ट करके रखा होगा, एंड बेस्ड ऑन द डायग्नोसिस ऑफ द डॉक्टर। ओके, कि डॉक्टर ने कुछ टेस्ट वगैरह कराए होंगे और उस बेसिस पे डॉक्टर ने प्रिडिक्शन दिया होगा, या डॉक्टर ने ये वो दिया होगा, क्या कहते हैं, डायग्नोस किया होगा कि okay, these are the things, these are your levels, these are your values of your tests. So this is the scenario where you are a diabetic person, यानी कि ये आप ये कह लो कि ये डेटा एक पेपर वर्क के थ्रू हुआ, ठीक है, कलेक्ट, एंड हॉस्पिटल ने ये डेटा कलेक्ट करके रखा और उस बेसिस पे ये हमें डेटा मिला है। Now here, since the outcome is already given, outcome मतलब यही है कि whether ये जो person है, this person based on these values was diabetic or non-diabetic. Okay, तो यहाँ हमारे पास ये ऑलरेडी एक लेबल डेटा है। लेबल डेटा बेसिकली मीन्स दैट you already know the outcome. Okay, your data already holds the outcome. आपको पता है डेटा में कि आउटकम क्या है, ठीक है। अच्छा, अगर हमें पता है आउटकम क्या है, तो ऑन द फर्स्ट प्लेस why we need to have this learning kind of scenario, why we need to supervise this learning. Okay, तो since the data is known, the learning is therefore supervised. Supervised इसलिए होगी क्योंकि ये label data है, we already know the outcome. Okay, तो सुपरविजन कैसे, कि हम ये आउटकम वाला डेटा ही मशीन को फीड करेंगे, सो दैट इट शुड लर्न कि कौन से वैल्यूज पे किस पर्टिकुलर सिनेरियो पे द डायग्नोसिस वाज गिवन एज आइदर डायबिटिक और नॉन डायबिटिक। ओके, गॉट द पॉइंट? यस और नो?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, सो वी नीड the machine learning algorithm in a supervised way, that you should understand that in what scenario what outcome is being given. Okay, that is directed into successful execution. Okay, in that sense we want basically that the algorithm should learn the scenarios. Okay, and based on that learning we then basically feed the model with an unknown data. Okay, तो पहले हम known data feed करते हैं ML algorithm को, जो machine learning algorithm है, मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिदम ये नोन डेटा को लर्न करती है all the scenarios, all the conditions in which a particular person is diagnosed as diabetic or non-diabetic. Okay, once ये सारे सिनेरियोज मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिदम लर्न करती है थ्रू द प्रोसेसिंग, देन व्हाट वी डू इज वी टेस्ट दिस एल्गोरिदम. ओके, हमने उसे लर्न करने के लिए दे दिया, अब हम उसका टेस्ट लेते हैं कि हम उसे एक अननोन डेटा देंगे. नाउ अननोन डेटा विल बी विदाउट दिस आउटकम कॉलम. ओके, हम सिर्फ ये वैल्यूज उसको पास करेंगे. ठीक है, एंड हम ये देखेंगे कि अब अगर हम ये वैल्यूज देते हैं तो इन वैल्यूज के अकॉर्डिंग एंड बाय द अंडरस्टैंडिंग which it has learned from the known data, now how the model is basically giving us the predictions. ओके, तो उस बेसिस पे हम ये देखते हैं कि कितना हमें एक्यूरेसी मिलता है. ठीक है, एंड वंस वी गेट दैट ओके the accuracy is correct, or you can say that is the desired accuracy, or let's say कि आपको जैसा आप चाह रहे थे प्रेडिक्शन वैसा ही आपको मॉडल ट्रेन मॉडल आपको आउटपुट देता है, then you basically say that okay, now the model is being trained and can be used for the unknown data. तो आप कहोगे कि फिर ये जो मॉडल बना है फिर आप उसको अपने हॉस्पिटल में यूज़ करोगे, एंड फिर आप क्या करोगे, आप सिंपली पेशेंट के जो वाइटल्स हैं या जो भी ये है ना जो भी ये टेस्ट्स के रिजल्ट्स हैं, आप सिर्फ ये मशीन में फीड करोगे एंड द मशीन विल automatically tell you कि okay, this person is diabetic or non-diabetic. Okay, but before using this kind of models in your hospital or any kind of a scenario, since we are discussing this diabetic model, so I'm telling you about the hospital only. So since you, before using such models to a public in a public domain, let's say for any kind of solution related to healthcare or self-driving cars or anything, okay, you need to be very much sure about that your model is well trained for any kind of scenario. Okay, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपने ये डेटा फीड किया, एक्चुअल में अकॉर्डिंग टू द डेटा दिस पर्सन शुड बी डायबिटिक, बट आपका मॉडल इसको अदरवाइज प्रिडिक्ट करता है, आपका मॉडल कहता है नहीं ये पर्सन डायबिटिक नहीं है. ओके, सो इन दैट वे दैट कैन बी अ लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग सिचुएशन. ठीक है, so that's why we need to be very sure about that how our model is behaving. Okay, तभी हम मल्टीपल आइट्रेशंस परफॉर्म करते हैं जब भी हम कोई एक मॉडल क्रिएट करते हैं. हम एक ही एल्गोरिदम पे स्टिक नहीं करते, हम मल्टीपल एल्गोरिदम्स को यूज़ करते हैं, मल्टीपल आइटरेशंस अप्लाई करते हैं, मल्टीपल टाइम्स वी ट्राई टू क्लीन द डेटा. Okay, now I'll tell you that what's the problem with this data currently which I am showing you. Okay, that also we need to improve. Okay, because we cannot take chances when there is with such a sensitive kind of a data. Okay, so cleaning is very important. How you are basically using, what kind of data you are using. A clean data, a very clear data needs to be given to the models. Okay, so that your model behaves and model basically give you a better predictions. Okay, so uh, this is what your supervised learning, where you are using label data, your historical data you are basically using, which is already being processed. You know things about the data. Basically, you know that based on what conditions the output was generated, what kind of output was given. Okay, what kind of prediction which was given. Okay, so this is what your supervised learning is. Then comes your unsupervised. Okay, now what's this unsupervised is? In unsupervised, we train the model. Okay, but here we are using unlabeled data. That means this outcome wala column will not be there. Okay, you don't know about this data, that how this data is basically basically generating the result. Okay, what this data is basically trying to interpret. Okay, this you don't know. Okay, so basically in that sense you can say that if we are having an unlabeled data, then we can say that it's a kind of a fresh data, you can say. Okay, a new data which is recently be generated. Okay, now the question comes that when the data is unknown, that when the data is unlabeled, then how basically the learning will basically happen. Okay, तो उस केस में क्या होता है, जो अनसुपरवाइज लर्निंग एल्गोरिदम्स होते हैं वो क्या करते हैं, आपका अननोन डेटा है. ओके, यू हैव अननोन डेटा. द एल्गोरिदम, व्हाट एल्गोरिदम विल डू, वो स्टडी करेगी इस डेटा को और वो कुछ पैटर्न्स लर्न करेगी. ओके, नाउ हियर आई एम यूजिंग द वर्ड पैटर्न. ठीक है, बट यहाँ सुपरवाइज लर्निंग एल्गोरिदम में जो मशीन लर्निंग एल्गोरिदम है वो लर्न करेगी आपके येस और नो वाले आंसर्स. ठीक है, कि वेदर द पर्सन इज डायबिटिक और नॉट, येस और नो, ट्रू और फॉल्स. ओके, द आंसर विल बी वेरी मच क्लियर cut. Okay, but in unsupervised learning the answer will not be clear. Okay, that will be very much, it can be close to a yes or close to a no, but it will not be exact yes or no. Okay, यानी कि वो एक simply एक आइडिया लगाएगा कि ओके, इफ दिस इज द डेटा देन दिस माइट बी द पॉसिबल सिनेरियो. ठीक है, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे आप देखो कि वी हैव अ सेट ऑफ apples and we have some yellow fruit as well. Now this fruit is either lemon or mango, that basically this algorithm will basically try to understand. Now how it will be understanding it, based on the data. Let's say कि data में क्या होगा कि shape कैसा है. ठीक है, साइज ऑफ द फ्रूट कितना है. ठीक है, taste of the fruit is, what kind of taste this fruit is having. This kind of data you might be having in the data set. Okay, based on all these scenarios the algorithm will try to build a cluster. Okay, वो कोशिश ये करेगा एक सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ क्लस्टर फॉर्म करने का, सिमिलर ऑब्जेक्ट्स को एक क्लस्टर में बिल्ड करने का. एप्पल्स एक जगह होंगे, जो येलो फ्रूट्स हैं वो एक जगह होंगे, या इफ द कैटेगरी इज सच दैट इफ यू आर सर्चिंग फॉर स्वीट फ्रूट, ओके, तो हो सकता है एप्पल और सर्टेन येलो फ्रूट्स एक साथ हों, कुछ येलो फ्रूट्स अलग क्लस्टर में हो. Okay, so likewise basically they try to build a cluster, not a yes or no answer. Okay, आपको यहाँ clear cut image नहीं मिलेगा कि yes this is apple and this is mango. No, आपको यहाँ पे एक cluster format में आंसर आउटपुट मिलेगा. ठीक है, यानी कि आपको जो सिमिलर आइटम्स हैं दे विल बी प्लेस्ड in one cluster and the other similar items will be placed in the another cluster. So in supervised learning the training data is unknown and unlabeled, meaning that no one has looked at the data before. Without the aspect of known data the input cannot be guided to the algorithm. So we cannot guide the input to the algorithm, which is where the unsupervised term originates. The data is fed to the algorithm and used to train the model. Trained model tries to search for pattern and give the desired response. In this case, it is often like the algorithm is trying to be the enigma machine, but without human mind directly involved, but rather a machine. Okay, so here basically it's a puzzle which an algorithm is trying to follow, trying to solve. Okay, it finds some pattern and based on those pattern it basically tries to build the response. Okay, so the response can be in the form of cluster. Okay, so this is how your unsupervised learning do it. Okay, then comes your reinforcement learning. Just a second. Okay, then comes your reinforcement learning. Now reinforcement learning का best example है आपका gaming. ओके, सो गेमिंग में क्या होता है, आप जो आपका प्लेयर होता है, you or you can say, here it's an example of a Pac-Man. Okay, Pac-Man में क्या है, आप Pac-Man में, Pac-Man is an agent. Okay, the learner, you can say. Pac-Man takes certain decisions. Okay, or you can say, it acts accordingly, according to the player कि वो उसने action perform किया right या left जाने का, ठीक है, based on those actions, on the environment, basically on the environment in which the Pac-Man is existing, based on those on the environment and the action it has taken, based on that, the outcome is basically either a reward, or the Pac-Man is like क्या होता है पैकमैन में, either it dies. Okay, so either it will get a cherry or it will hit a worm. Okay, based on the action, whether it has taken a right turn or a left turn. Likewise only we play the Pac-Man, right? Yes, so no. Yes everyone, yes or no? Pac-Man में यही होता है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, तो reinforcement learning में basically यही है कि based on the actions which you basically provide to a certain environment, and based on that कि आपका जो बेसिकली एक्शन के बेसिस पे जो रिजल्ट निकलता है वो या तो एक रिवॉर्ड होता है, या फिर आप उसको एक आप ये कह लीजिए कि आप if we talk about in terms of games, so you either get back to your initial position, ठीक है, कि आप या तो प्लेयर डेड हो जाता है या प्लेयर की पावर कम हो जाती है, समथिंग लाइक दैट. ओके, सो this is how your reinforcement learning. Another example of reinforcement learning is आपका जैसे से रोबोटिक आर्म है, ठीक है, रोबोटिक आर्म को आपने बेसिकली प्रोसेस लर्न करवाया कि how to basically hold a pen. Okay, now to hold a pen there is a particular process. Okay, either आप जैसे आप उसको डायरेक्टली पिक करो, या आपको उसको पिक करके आप उसे राइटिंग पोजीशन में होल्ड करो, ठीक है. सो likewise your robotic arm will be fed with the data. Okay, now you instruct the robotic arm to pick the pen. Okay, and then the way it has picked the pen, you basically give a reward to the robotic arm. Reward किस फॉर्म में होगा कि आप उस एक्शन को एक हायर हायर प्रायोरिटी दे दो, या आप उसको एक पॉइंट इंक्रीज कर दो. ओके, या आप ये मार्क कर दो कि नाउ द वे यू हैव पिक the process in which the pen is being picked is the correct one. तो आप उसको एक हाई स्केल एक्शन कंसिडर कर लो, ठीक है. अगर उसने पेन गलत तरीके से पिक किया है, और लेट्स से पिक करने के प्रोसेस में द पेन फॉल्स, ओके, तो आप उसे रिवॉर्ड की जगह आप उसे लेट्स से आप उसका पॉइंट डिक्रीज कर दो, यानी कि आप उसे प्रायोरिटी में लो ले आओ. इस एक्शन को आप प्रायोरिटी वाइज, या आप उस एक्शन को जो क्या कहते हैं, व्हाट कैन वी से, आप उस एक्शन को जो प्रायोरिटी लिस्ट है आप उसको कम लोएस्ट फॉर्म में डाल दो, ठीक है. यानी कि आप उसको या तो रिवॉर्ड कर रहे हो, या आप एक सेंस में आप उसके ना डिक्रीमेंट दे रहे हो, ठीक है. नाउ दिस इज हाउ रीइंफोर्समेंट बेसिकली लर्न. आप रिवॉर्ड देते हो, उस बेसिस पे आपका मशीन उसको रजिस्टर करता है कि ओके, इफ this is the step I was taking it, and for this step the reward is being provided, so this is a correct approach. Okay, अगर आप रिवॉर्ड की जगह किसी आप उसे वापस उसी स्टेट में लेके आते हो, तो the machine understands that okay, there might be some issue with the process how I have picked the pen. Okay, So that's how the reinforcement learning happens. Okay, इससे भी और ज़्यादा सिंपल एग्जांपल मैं आपको देती हूँ, हाउ बेबीज लर्न. ओके, बेबीज try to stand up but they fall again, they again try it, they again fall. Okay, so basically it's a continuous process of learning. ठीक है, वो बार बार एक एक्शन परफॉर्म करते हैं खड़े होने का, they again fall, then they again try to stand up, then they again fall, then they gradually try to understand कि okay, I'm not able to stand by myself, they try to hold something and then they get the support and they try to stand. Okay, so likewise the learning process is happening. Okay, so this is what your reinforcement learning, like traditional type of data analysis where algorithm discovers data through a process of trial and error. Okay, they try it, they fail, they try it, they fail. Okay, and then decide what action results to higher rewards. Okay, based on the process of trial and error, they try to understand that okay, on which particular I was rewarded as higher. Okay, three major components of this reinforcement learning is the agent, basically the player of your game, uh, the child or your robotic arm. Environment, environment basically the environment in which Pac-Man is basically is being placed in. Okay, the environment in which your robotic arm is working. Okay, and the third one is your action basically what kind of step they are taking, whether the Pac-Man is taking right or left or backward or forward, or your robotic arm is the action is basically picking up the pen. Okay, so these three things are there, and based on these three scenarios, we basically try to assign the model higher rewards. Okay, and based on the reward they have received, they basically register the particular set of instructions, and they register it that this is the step of these are the particular steps which are correct and I need to follow these. Okay, they register to themselves. Okay, the agent is learner or decision maker. Environment includes everything that agent interacts with, and actions are what the agent does. Okay, what kind of action agent is basically performing. Okay, so this is your reinforcement learning. Okay, so these are the broad three categories of your machine learning which is there. Okay, now supervised learning, it's a task driven. Okay, now in task driven we have in supervised as well, we have a classification and regression type of learnings. Okay, classification is basically where you simply give the answer in yes or no, 0 or 1, true or false, category A or category B. Okay, you have a classification in there. Comes your regression is basically for in regression also you are giving a yes or no answer, but here the data is different. Okay, here the data is a kind of a continuous data. Okay, so then comes your regression. So after that we have unsupervised. So unsupervised, since the data is not labeled, so we have clustering. Okay, we basically form the clusters of similar type of items. Okay, then second comes your association. We try to build association between the points. Okay, so the best way of association is your example of your supermarkets. Okay, they try to figure out association between the purchase items of their customers. Okay, and that's how they try to do the product placement, or they try to provide offers on certain items. Likewise, okay, तो आपने देखा होगा most of the times that in supermarkets you get the क्या कहते हैं उसे फैमिली पैक या सुपर सेवर पैक काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स दे क्रिएट, और वहाँ पे वो दो तीन आइटम्स को अटैच कर देते हैं. लेट्स से दो तीन स्नैक्स, दो तीन डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ स्नैक्स का एक वो बंच बना के, एंड दे से दैट दिस इज द सुपर सेवर पैक. ओके, so likewise they are making this associations. Okay, so that basically helps. Product placement, you can place your products in such a way that more and more sale can be enhanced, improved. Okay, then comes your reinforcement. Reinforcement, software component learn to react to an environment. Basically, how the environment is given to them and what kind of action they are taking. Based on that, the learning is being carried out. Okay, so these are the three categories, and these are the subcategories we have under machine learning algorithm. Now let's understand कि ठीक है, ये तीन तरह के algorithms हैं. How these algorithms are basically used around us. Okay, around us कैसे? तो अगर आप supervised learning algorithm की बात करोगे, तो देखो क्लासिफिकेशन में इमेज क्लासिफिकेशन आपको करना है, फ्रॉड डिटेक्शन करना है कि वेदर द क्रेडिट कार्ड फ्रॉड हैज हैपेंड और नॉट. ओके, customer retention. Okay, whether the customer will be leaving the platform or not. Okay, diagnosis, whether the person is diabetic or not. Okay, again, then comes your regression, advertising popularity prediction. ओके, वेदर फोरकास्टिंग, अगर वेदर फोरकास्टिंग आपको करना है, ठीक है, देन market forecasting. Okay, how the market will be basically projecting the states. Then that is your regression kind of problem. Estimating life expectancy. Okay, population growth prediction. Okay, now here regression basically because अगर population growth का data है, आपको life expectancy से निकालना है, these data kind of data ना are always generating. Okay, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आपको अगर population growth आपको estimation लगाना है, then you have a static kind of data. No, that data is always evolving. Okay, so that's where your regression, a continuous kind of thing you need to process, and you need to give the projections. Okay, so that's where your regression kind of problems. Other examples can be your sentiment analysis. That is one kind of supervised learning. ठीक है, आपको लेट्स से मराइन वाइल्ड लाइफ से रिलेटेड आपको प्रोसेसिंग करना है, जहाँ पे आपको इमेज क्लासिफिकेशन ह्यूजली यूज़ किया जाता है. ओके, लेट्स से मरीन डाइवर्सिटी, या आपको कोरल्स के हेल्थ के, कोरल्स का जो स्टेटस है आज की डेट में वो सी बेड पे. ओके, आपको उसका स्टडी करना है, तो यू नीड अ kind of classification. That is the one use case where your supervised learning is basically working. Okay, then your banking domain. So one of the thing we discussed is the fraud detection. Okay, या फिर protect accounts from hackers. Okay, आप hackers की breaches को आप है ना आपको protect करना है, तो there your supervised learning is basically coming into picture. Your smart assistants, okay, your Siri, Google assistants, all they are under the supervised learning. Okay, अनसुपरवाइज्ड में आपको जैसे इन क्लस्टरिंग. ओके, customer segmentation, you want a segmentation of your customers. let's say आप एक कैटेगरी बनाना चाहते हो कि जैसे बैंकिंग सेक्टर में हम कहें तो कस्टमर सेगमेंटेशन कैसे, they segment the customers that okay, this is the account of a student. Okay, or this is the account of a working professional. Okay, this is the account of a person who is retired. Okay, so this is your customer segmentation. Then targeted marketing, if you want to target a particular set of customers, that you can be done. Recommender systems. Okay, recommendation systems are being basically fall under this clustering kind of learning. Dimensionality reduction, big data visualization, meaningful compression, structure discovery, feature elicitation, or you can say association. Okay, so all are under this under this supervised learning. Then comes your reinforcement. ठीक है, रियल टाइम डिसीजन मेकिंग करना है. गेमिंग के सेक्टर में reinforcement learning बहुत एक्सटेंसिवली यूज होता है. स्किल एक्विजिशन है, लर्निंग टास्क हैं किसी रोबोट के लिए, या रोबोट नेविगेशन है, all these are the areas where reinforcement learning is being happening. Okay, आपकी जितना भी ये रोबोटिक्स वाला जो काम होता है, आपके NLP applications which are using natural language processing, they are basically under this reinforcement learning. ठीक है, आपका इंडस्ट्री ऑटोमेशंस हो गए या फिर आपकी सेल्फ ड्राइविंग कार्स हो गए, ऑल दीज आर reinforcement learning. Okay, so this is what all about your machine learning. We will be heading to learn about what is unsupervised learning, what is supervised learning, and we'll be discussing certain algorithms under these domain. We'll not be discussing reinforcement because for that we need something, heavy kind of scenario. Okay, so I can give you the resources through which you can better understand reinforcement learning. But yes, for unsupervised and unsupervised, we will be doing a proper, problem statements will be there, a proper implementation will be there, how this algorithm is basically behaving over the data, that we will be taking in detail. Okay, so this is what the brief introduction about machine learning is. Okay, so I suppose the whatever we have discussed, is it clear to everyone, or is there any kind of a question, anything? Any, any question? Any question from anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay, no question. ठीक है, तो what now what you guys have to do is you search around the net. Okay, you search for different projects under this machine learning, or either not just, I'll not say that only in machine learning, you search projects. Okay, when you'll be searching projects, you will understand that in which domain basically you are getting interest and what kind of a problem you are interested to solve out. Okay, तो आप एक्सप्लोर करो, ठीक है, प्रोजेक्ट आइडियाज गैदर करो, एंड we will be discussing those project ideas, and then we will be moving towards the implementation part. Okay, but before doing the implementation, don't worry, we'll be discussing all these machine learning algorithms and everything. Okay, so that you don't face any kind of, anything is not new for you, or you face difficulty in doing the implementation. Okay, so that this one thing I want from you all. Okay, now uh, so yeah, so this is all about data analytics, data science, and machine learning. I am discussing these topics right now just so that you can get a idea. You can explore the project ideas. Okay, in a better way. Okay, we will be having classes for these machine learning algorithms. Okay, so don't get impatient if these topics are being discussed a bit 2-3 days after. Okay, what we are planning is that since there's one more batch we are also having. Okay, so what we have tried is we are merging both these your batch and that batch, because you both are on same page. Okay, so we'll be merging these two batches together from tomorrow, and we'll be then discussing over Hive, and then we'll be moving towards HBase, and then we'll be moving towards machine learning. Okay, so this is the plan we are basically thinking of. Okay, so I suppose no issues with that.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So this is the scenario which I wanted to discuss with you. Okay, so by the time
So,
uh,
ma'am, just one thing,
yeah,
we'll be switching from this topic to another topic tomorrow. So
yes.
it will not affect now,
No, 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 no. It will not affect, because eventually this data science was about to come. Okay, because basically, see, what generally we follow the pattern is we discuss Hadoop, We discuss MapReduce, we discuss Hive and HBase, and then we move towards data science and Spark. Okay,
Okay.
on the later half. But since basically we wanted that, because both the batches were basically 2 or 3 days का gap था दोनों के उसमें. So what we tried that we make bring you both the batches on the same page, and then we move together with both of you so that we can better we can have a smooth conduction of the classes. Okay, there should not be a glitch. Okay,
Okay.
so tomorrow we'll be having a Hive session. Okay, we'll be taking Hive, and then we'll be gradually moving towards data science. Okay, this data science, see, this can be I could have done that. I should have not discussed this data science, and we could have taken you to Hive only. But my point was that if we give you a picture about what data science is all about and machine learning is all about, then it will better help you to explore the project ideas basically. Okay, because eventually at the end of this training, you need to make a project. Okay, a small project only, so that you can understand the complete cycle. Okay, and basically that only help you to understand how this big data thing is basically working around. Okay,
Okay.
so that's why my motive was to discuss these things, right? So okay guys, so we can conclude the session for today. Okay, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Okay, so just a second, I'll take a screenshot again. Okay, so be there for 2 minutes. Okay, I'll just
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes.
That Jiaoming is it's the Kungshan Bridge, and
Yes,
I'm
yes,
sorry.
yes. I have noted it down. Don't
Okay.
worry about that. Okay.
Then, ma'am, I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
So you have just mentioned about a small project regarding this data science. So can
Mm-hmm.
you name some small projects that you have witnessed?
Like, see, if I tell you projects like something related to your number plate or something sentiment analysis, say let's say ट्विटर जो क्या कहते हैं ट्वीट्स का जो हम सेंटिमेंट एनालिसिस करते हैं ट्विटर फीड्स को लेके वैस दैट काइंड ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट और लेट्स से आप इमेज प्रोसेसिंग में देखो तो नंबर प्लेट रिकॉग्निशन ठीक है जहाँ पे आपका जो गाड़ी का नंबर होता है यू try to capture that. Okay, so that can be helpful in your transportation का जो आप कह सकते हो supervision in basically ये ट्रैफिक कंट्रोल के उसके लिए. ओके, तो नंबर प्लेट एग्जांपल हो गया एक. दूसरा एक एग्जांपल है आपका then multiple kind of projects. Okay, so आप इमेज के प्रोसेसिंग इमेज प्रोसेसिंग में देख सकते हो, आप ट्विटर सेंटिमेंट एनालिसिस में देख सकते हो, नंबर प्लेट रिकॉग्निशन का एक एग्जांपल हो गया इमेज प्रोसेसिंग ओनली, अदरवाइज एज वेल ऑल्सो यू कैन ट्राई आउट. ओके, so such kind of projects, small projects that can be easily implemented in 10-15 days scenario. Okay, हम बहुत ज़्यादा हैवी नहीं लेंगे प्रोजेक्ट्स. ओके, सो दिस इज़ व्हाट द एम इज़, क्योंकि इन प्रोजेक्ट से ही आपको एक छोटा एक आइडिया लग जाएगा कि व्हाट हाउ बेसिकली वी आर डीलिंग विद द डेटा. ओके, जो प्रोसेस है क्लीनिंग ऑफ द क्लीनिंग प्रोसेस और एनालिसिस प्रोसेस, ये सारा चीज़ आपको इन छोटे प्रोजेक्ट से भी समझ में आ जाएगा. ओके, सो क्लियर?
Yes, ma'am.
So, ma'am, there's one question. Like, I was looking at the online videos that are this. So, like when I'm completing those videos, there is no tick mark coming up. Like it is complete.
Yeah, actually, that we have not placed in our model. That's the functionality of the model actually. Okay, so yeah, that will not be there. Ki aap, like how many videos you have seen, you will not see any tick mark. So that track you have to take care of. Okay, so
like if I completed it, then I don't need to revisit to
no, you don't need to revisit. See, what happens is, though the tech mark is not coming, okay, no, but in the backend we are basically having the track of that how much percentage of the course is being convert
Okay.
is being covered. Okay, so what will happen that once you complete the test, no, complete the course, no, so you get a completion status that okay, 70% of the course is being covered, or 100% course is being visited. Okay, likewise that track is being kept in the backend. Okay.
Sure. Okay,
Yeah.
that helps. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Any other question?
मैम मैम ये कोर्स कंप्लीट होने के बाद रहेगा या फिर मतलब जो जहाँ पे हम वीडियोस देख रहे हैं तो वहां से मतलब रिमूव कर दिया जाएगा मतलब कुछ टाइम बाद आपने कहा था ना 120 डेज का ट्रायल पीरियड रहेगा
हाँ सी 120 डेज का टाइम आपका वो जो 4 क्विजेज आपके कोर्स में दिख रहे हैं वो आपको कंप्लीट करने हैं 128 डेज में. ठीक है. आफ्टर यू कंप्लीट ऑल दोज 4 क्विजेज देन योर एक्सेस टू दिस LMS विल नॉट बी देयर. ओके, क्योंकि वो कंसिडर कर लिया जाएगा कि यू हैव सीन ऑल द वीडियोस, you have attempted all the quizzes, that means this course is complete from your end. Okay, तो हमने वो LMS का जो access है that we have restricted till then. Okay, जब तक आपने quiz complete नहीं किए हैं सारे, you'll have the access for 120 days. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, do we have to submit the project once the this complete course is over?
Yeah, you can. Yes, you have to submit the project.
Is there any deadline where
No, they have not kept actually a deadline. Like let's say if it's a 128 days 120 days course, so we assume that okay, you have a time period of 4 months. Okay, so in that period you can submit your project work. Okay, so you can take the timeline from the day you have registered and the day your course will end, so you can take that timeline. Okay. We have from our end, we have not given any kind of a deadline to anyone.
Okay.
Okay guys, so thank you everyone, and we'll meet tomorrow at the same time. Okay, bye everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah.